Hello and welcome to Read and Learn English. Today's story is different. It is not a happy story. It is not a story of success or love. It is a story about the end of power, the end of control, and the final hours of a man who once changed the world in a very dark way. This story will help you improve your English through clear sentences, real history, and strong emotions. As you listen, try to imagine the scenes. Try to feel the atmosphere. This will help you understand English more deeply and naturally. Now, let us begin. It is late at night. The date is April 29th, 1945. Above the city of Berlin, the sky is red and full of fire. Buildings are falling. Streets are breaking. The sound of bombs never stops. People are running, hiding, crying. The war is almost over, but not in a peaceful way. It is ending in chaos and destruction. But deep underground, far below the noise and fire, there is a place where time feels slow and heavy. This place is called the bunker. It is made of thick concrete walls. It is cold, quiet, and full of fear. Inside this bunker, a man sits alone at a table. His name is Adolf Hitler. He is 56 years old. Not long ago, he stood in front of huge crowds. He spoke loudly. He gave orders to armies. Millions of people listened to him. But now, everything is different. Now he is quiet. Now he is alone. His empire's falling. His army is losing. The city above him is being taken piece by piece. He knows this. He understands it clearly. There is no more hope for victory. There is no escape. Only one thing remains certain. The end is coming. For a long time, he says nothing. He just sits there, staring at the table. His face looks tired. His body is weak. His hands shake slightly. He does not look like a powerful leader anymore. He looks like a man who has already lost everything. Then suddenly, he speaks. He calls his assistant into the room. His voice is soft but clear. He gives a strange order. "Prepare for a wedding. Tonight, I will marry Eva." The assistant is shocked. A wedding? At this moment? When the world is breaking above them? But no one questions him. No one argues. In this place, his word is still law. Eva Braun is the woman he wants to marry. She has been part of his life for many years, but always in the shadows. The public rarely saw her. She was not part of his speeches or official life. She stayed hidden, quiet, and loyal. She met him when she was very young. Over the years, she waited for him, believed in him, and followed him without question. Her life was connected to his, but she never stood beside him in the light. She lived in silence while he lived in power. There were times when she felt invisible, times when she felt forgotten. She even tried to end her life more than once. But still, she stayed. And now, when everything is ending, she is still there. Many people in the bunker told her to leave. They said she could escape. They said she could still live. But she refused every time. "I will stay," she said. And she did. When Hitler made the decision to marry her, it was not a moment of romance. It was not about love in a simple way. It was about control. It was about finishing everything in a planned and ordered way. He wanted to close his life like a final chapter in a book. He believed she deserved his name, even if only for a few hours. The wedding was prepared quickly. It took place in a small room inside the bunker. The room was dim. The lights were weak. There were no flowers, no music, no joy. Only a few people stood quietly as witnesses. Eva wore a simple dress made of pale blue silk. Her face looked calm, almost peaceful. Some people said she smiled softly, as if she had already accepted her fate. Hitler wore a plain black suit. No military uniform, no medals, nothing that showed his past power. A civil officer stood in front of them. He asked the traditional questions. His voice was formal, but the situation felt unreal. "Do you take this woman as your wife?" Hitler answered quietly, "Yes." Then he signed the paper. Eva signed next. Just like that, after many years together, they were finally married. But there was no celebration. A small table was prepared. Someone opened a bottle of champagne. Glasses were filled, but most people did not drink. No one laughed. No one spoke loudly. The air felt heavy, like something was ending, not beginning. One man later said it felt like a funeral, not a wedding. After the ceremony, Hitler did not stay with the guests. He walked back to his private room and sat at his desk. His face became serious again. The short moment of the wedding was already gone. Now he had more work to do. He called his secretary, a young woman who had worked with him closely. She sat in front of him with a typewriter. He began to speak slowly, and she typed every word. He was creating his final message. This document would be his last explanation to the world, his final thoughts, his final voice. But what he said surprised many people. He did not say sorry. He did not show regret. He did not accept responsibility for the destruction around him. Instead, he blamed others. He blamed enemies. He blamed people who were not even in that room. He spoke as if he was still right, even when everything had collapsed. The secretary typed in silence. The sound of the keys was the only noise in the room, along with distant explosions above. Then he gave one very important order. "I do not want my body to be captured," he said. "I want it to be burned." He remembered what had happened to another leader, whose body had been shown to the public in a terrible way. He refused to let that happen to him. He wanted control, even in death. When the document was finished, he read it carefully. Then he signed it slowly. His hand was shaking, but his movements were still controlled. This was his final command. By now, it was very early in the morning, almost 5 a.m. Hitler stood up and walked slowly to another room. He did not go there to sleep. No one truly slept that night. He went there to lie down and wait. Outside, Berlin was breaking apart. The sound of war was everywhere, but inside the bunker, it felt like a different world. A quiet, frozen world, waiting for something final. Eva sat beside him. She held his hand gently. They did not speak much. They did not need to. Both of them knew that this night was not just the beginning of their marriage. It was the beginning of their end. And above them, the ground shook again, louder than before. The morning comes slowly, but inside the bunker, it does not feel like a new day. There is no sunlight, no fresh air, no sense of time. The lights stay the same. The walls feel closer. The air feels heavier. People move quietly, speaking in low voices, as if they are afraid to disturb something already broken. It is now midday on April 29th, 1945. Adolf Hitler walks slowly down the narrow hallway. His steps are weak. His body leans forward slightly, as if the weight of everything is pressing down on him. He enters a room that once held maps and plans. This was the war room, a place where decisions were made, where orders were given, where victories were once imagined. Now the maps still hang on the walls, but they mean nothing. The lines on them are old. The positions are wrong. The cities marked in red and blue are no longer under control. Everything has changed. Everything has been lost. Hitler stands in front of one large map. He looks at it for a long time. His eyes move slowly across the lines, but he does not point. He does not speak. He does not give any orders. There is nothing left to command. A doctor enters quietly and offers him medicine. Hitler shakes his head. He does not want help. He knows medicine cannot fix this. This is not a problem of the body anymore. This is the end of everything he built. For a moment, he whispers something under his breath. It is finished. Back in another room, Eva Braun sits calmly on a chair. She watches people move around her. Some are packing small bags. Some are writing letters. Some are simply sitting and staring at the floor. Eva does not panic. She does not cry. Her face is soft and still. She has made her decision, and she does not change it. She is going to stay. Nearby, a German shepherd dog lies quietly on the floor. The dog's name is Blondie. She has been with Hitler for years. She followed him everywhere, always calm, always loyal. In many ways, she was the one living thing he trusted completely. But today, even that trust begins to break. Hitler calls for his doctor again. This time, his voice is colder. "Bring the cyanide capsules," he says. The doctor understands immediately. These small capsules contain poison. They are meant for a quick death. Hitler plans to use them soon, but there is a problem. He does not trust them. He fears that someone might have given him fake capsules. He fears that the poison may not work. He fears a slow, painful death. So he gives a shocking order. Test it on Blondie. The room becomes silent. No one moves, no one speaks, but again, no one refuses. The doctor takes one capsule and carefully gives it to the dog. Blondie does not fight. She does not bark. Within seconds, her body becomes still. She is dead. Hitler watches for a moment. His face shows no clear emotion. Then he turns his head away. For him, this is not about the dog. It is about certainty. Now he knows. The poison works. But for the others in the room, something changes deeply. When they see him destroy the one creature he trusted most, they understand something very clearly. He is not planning to escape. He is preparing to die. The feeling in the bunker becomes even heavier. Fear spreads quietly from person to person. People begin to realize that there will be no rescue, no last miracle, no sudden change. Only an ending. The killings do not stop there. Eva's two small dogs are also brought in. They are innocent, unaware, and gentle. But they are given the same poison. They die quickly. Even the puppies, only a few weeks old, are not spared. Some people turn their faces away. Some close their eyes. But no one speaks. It is as if the bunker is slowly erasing everything connected to life. That afternoon, Hitler calls a meeting with his remaining officers. These men once stood proudly beside him. They followed his commands. They believed in his plans. Now they stand in front of him again. But everything feels different. He looks at them one by one. His voice is quiet, but firm. "I will not leave Berlin," he says. "I will not run." Some officers try to speak. They suggest escape plans. They talk about planes, disguises, hidden routes. They tell him there is still a chance to survive. He listens, but he does not agree. "No," he repeats. "I will stay here. I will die here." His decision is final. The room falls silent again. Some officers feel fear. Some feel sadness. Some feel something else, a strange kind of relief. Now they know the truth. Now they know they can make their own choices. Hitler gives permission for others to try to escape if they want. He does not stop them. That night, some will try. Back in his private room, Hitler sits beside Eva. The noise of the bombs above is louder now. The ground shakes more often. Dust falls lightly from the ceiling. Eva has changed her dress. She now wears a darker blue, simple and clean. She sits close to him, her hands resting gently in her lap. Hitler turns to her and speaks softly. "You still have time," he says. "You can leave. You can go with them." Eva looks at him and smiles, a small, calm smile. "No," she says. "I stay with you." Her voice is steady. There is no fear in it. Again, it is not about romance. It is not about dreams or future plans. It is about loyalty. They sit together in silence. No music plays. No words are needed. The world above them continues to collapse, but inside this room, everything feels still. Later, Hitler calls his staff one by one. Secretaries, guards, helpers, people who worked with him for years. Each person enters the room quietly. He shakes their hands. He looks into their eyes. "Thank you," he says simply. No long speeches. No emotional words. Just a short goodbye. Some people cry softly. Some cannot speak at all. Others try to stay strong, but their hands shake when they hold his. One woman later remembers that he looked like a shadow of himself, pale, tired, and distant. When the goodbyes are finished, the bunker becomes quieter than ever. Many people leave their rooms and prepare for the night. Some pack bags. Some write final letters to their families. Some sit alone, thinking about what they will do next. Outside, the sounds of war grow closer. Inside, time feels like it is slowing down. Hitler eats a small meal, just a little bread and tea. He does not seem hungry. Eva sits with him, but they speak very little. The night is not for rest, it is for waiting. Later, Hitler stands up slowly and walks toward his private bedroom. Eva follows him. The door closes behind them. Guards stand outside, silent and still. No one enters. No one disturbs them. Inside that room, they are alone together, preparing for what will come next. Because everyone in the bunker understands one thing now. When the next day begins, everything will end. The next day begins, but inside the bunker, it does not feel like morning. There is no sunlight, no birds, no fresh air. Only the same gray walls, the same dim lights, and the same heavy silence. It is now April 30th, 1945. Above the ground, Berlin is almost gone. The sounds of war are louder than ever. Explosions shake the earth again and again. Gunfire echoes through the streets. The Soviet army is now very close. They are only a short distance away from the bunker. Inside, people move slowly, like shadows. Their faces are pale. Their eyes are tired. No one smiles. No one talks about the future, because there is no future here. Adolf Hitler lies on his bed, but he is not sleeping. His eyes are open, staring at the ceiling. His face is empty, like a man who has already left the world in his mind. Next to him, Eva Braun sits quietly. She looks calm, almost peaceful. She has accepted what is coming. After some time, Hitler slowly sits up. His movements are careful and weak. He stands and adjusts his clothes. His jacket is simple. There are no medals, no signs of power. Just a man preparing for his final moments. He walks into the dining room. Eva follows him. They sit down together for what will be their last meal. The table is simple. There is dry bread and a cup of tea. Nothing more. No one speaks. The sound of bombs continues above, but inside the room, everything feels strangely quiet. Eva tries to smile. It is a soft, gentle smile, but behind it, there is something deeper. Not fear, not panic, but acceptance. Hitler lifts his cup slowly. His hand trembles slightly. He drinks a little, then puts it down. This is not just breakfast. This is goodbye. After the meal, Hitler calls one of his closest aides into the room. His voice is low, but very clear. He gives final instructions. When we are dead, he says, our bodies must be taken outside immediately. He pauses for a moment, then continues. They must be burned completely. No trace must remain. The aide nods. His face is tense. His hands are cold. But he understands. There is no question, no argument. Hitler remembers what happened to another fallen leader. He fears the same end. He will not allow his body to be shown, touched, or disrespected. Even now, he wants control. After giving his instructions, Hitler stands up again. He takes a deep breath, as if he is preparing himself for something final. Then he begins to say goodbye. One by one, the people in the bunker are called into the hallway. Secretaries, guards, assistants, all those who remained until the end. He shakes each hand slowly. To some, he says, "Thank you." To others, he simply nods. There are no long speeches, no emotional words, but the meaning is clear. This is the end. Some people begin to cry quietly. Others cannot move. One man later said that it felt like saying goodbye to a ghost, not a person. Hitler's face remains calm. Too calm. There is no anger, no fear, no sadness, just emptiness. When the last handshake is done, he turns and walks back toward his private room. Eva is waiting for him. She is now sitting on a sofa, holding a small object in her hand. It is a cyanide capsule, a tiny glass container filled with poison. She looks at it for a moment, then looks at him. They have already made their decision. They will not be captured. They will not run. They will end their lives together. Hitler also holds a capsule in his hand, but he has something else as well. A pistol, a small dark gun that he has carried for years. He plans to use both, the poison and the bullet, to make sure there is no mistake. He calls two of his closest aides into the room one last time. His voice is steady. The time has come, he says. You will wait outside the door. When it is over, you will enter. The men nod. Their faces are serious. They understand exactly what he means. They step out into the hallway and close the door behind them. Now, inside the room, it is quiet. Hitler and Eva sit side by side on the sofa. No one knows their exact final words. Maybe they spoke softly. Maybe they said nothing at all. Outside, the guards stand in silence. Every second feels longer than the last. The sound of war continues above, but in this moment, all attention is on that closed door. Then, at around 3:30 in the afternoon, it happens. A single sound breaks the silence. A gunshot. The guards look at each other. For a moment, no one moves. Then they rush forward. The door opens. Inside the room, the air is still. Hitler is sitting on the sofa, but his body is no longer alive. His head leans slightly to one side. There is a wound on his temple. Blood marks the wall behind him. Next to him, Eva lies still. There is no wound on her body. Only a faint smell of bitter almonds fills the room, the sign of cyanide. They are both dead. The man who once stood in front of millions, who once controlled armies and nations, is now just a silent body in a small underground room. There is no crowd. There is no speech. There's no power. Only silence. The aides move quickly. They follow the orders exactly. They wrap the bodies in thick blankets. Carefully, they carry them out of the room, down the hallway, and toward the exit. The staircase is narrow. The air is cold. Each step feels heavy. They reach the outside garden behind the building. The ground is damaged from bombs. Smoke fills the air. The sound of gunfire is close now. There is no time. They place the bodies in a shallow hole in the ground. Then they pour gasoline over them, again and again. The smell is strong. One of the men takes a lighter. His hand shakes slightly. He lights it. He drops it. The fire begins. Flames rise quickly, moving over the blankets, over the bodies. Smoke rises into the gray sky. There's no music, no prayer, no words. The men stand for a moment. Some raise their hands in a final salute. Then they turn and run back inside, as bullets fly nearby. Inside the bunker, the news spreads quickly. He is dead. No one celebrates. No one cheers. People stand in silence, their faces empty. For a moment, it feels unreal. Then someone whispers softly, almost like a breath. It's over. And just like that, everything that once seemed powerful, everything that once felt unstoppable, has ended in fire and silence. But outside, the war is not finished yet. And inside the bunker, something even darker is about to begin. After the fire in the garden, the bunker feels even colder. The man who once controlled everything is gone. His voice is gone. His orders are gone. The silence now feels heavier than before. Some people sit in chairs and stare at the floor. Some whisper to each other. Some hold their heads in their hands. Nobody knows what to do next. Above the bunker, the war continues. Soviet soldiers move closer and closer. Tanks roll through broken streets. Gunfire echoes from every direction. Berlin is falling minute by minute. Inside, there is no plan anymore. Before his death, Adolf Hitler named a new leader. Far away in northern Germany, a man receives the message. His name is Karl Dönitz. When he reads the news, he is shocked. The capital is lost. The army is broken. And now, he is the leader of a country that is already finished. He begins to think about surrender. Back in the bunker, another man steps forward. His name is Joseph Goebbels. He was always loyal. He stayed until the very end. But now, he faces a terrible choice. He speaks to his wife. Her name is Magda Goebbels. We will not live in a world without him, he says. They make a decision that shocks everyone. They will not escape. They will not surrender. They will die. And not only them. They decide their 6 children will also die. Inside a small room, Magda gives her children something to drink. It is medicine, but not for healing. It makes them sleep. One by one, the children close their eyes. They look peaceful, like they are dreaming. Then, while they sleep, poison is given to them. They never wake up. In the bunker, some people cry quietly when they hear this. Others feel too shocked to react. The place is no longer just a shelter. It is becoming a place of death. Later, Joseph and Magda walk outside into the same garden where the fire still burns softly. They sit together for a moment. Then he uses a gun. She takes poison. Their bodies fall to the ground. They are also burned, but not completely. Inside the bunker, the number of people becomes smaller and smaller. Some decide to stay. Some decide to try to escape. A group of men and women prepare to leave. They wear simple clothes. They carry small bags. They plan to move through the city at night, hoping to pass as civilians. But the streets are full of danger. Gunfire comes from every corner. Soviet soldiers are everywhere. Buildings burn. Smoke fills the air. Many who try to escape do not make it. Some are captured. Some are killed. Only a few survive. Back in the bunker, the remaining people wait. They do not talk much. They do not make plans. They simply wait for the end. Soon it arrives. Soviet soldiers reach the building above the bunker. They fight their way inside. They move carefully, room by room. The building is damaged, dark, and full of smoke. Then they find the entrance to the bunker. They go down. Inside, they see empty rooms, broken furniture, papers on the floor, and signs of hurried actions. Plates with unfinished food. Beds that were never made. Bottles, maps, and scattered belongings. But one thing is missing: the body of Hitler. The soldiers begin to search. They question the people they find alive. They look in every room, every corner. Finally, outside in the garden, they discover something: a burned body. Then another. The remains are badly damaged. It is difficult to see clearly, but there are signs: clothes, boots, pieces of bone. They believe these are the bodies of Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun, but they are not completely sure. The bodies are taken away quietly. They are studied in secret. Reports are written, but the truth is not shared immediately. Far away, in another country, a powerful leader receives the news. His name is Joseph Stalin. He chooses to keep the information hidden. He does not tell the world clearly what happened. Because of this silence, many questions begin to grow. Did Hitler really die? Did he escape? Was it someone else? Rumors spread across countries. Some people believe he is still alive. Some say he is hiding in another place. Stories grow larger and more confusing, but over time, the truth becomes clearer. Doctors study the remains. They compare teeth and records. A dental assistant who knew Hitler confirms the details. The evidence matches. Step by step, the mystery is solved. Yes, he died in that bunker. Yes, his body was burned in that garden. Yes, the story is real. Days later, Germany finally surrenders. The war in Europe ends. The long, painful conflict comes to a close. The world reacts in many ways. Some people celebrate in the streets. They laugh, cry, and hug each other. For them, the nightmare is over. Some people sit quietly and think about what was lost. Families, homes, lives. And some people cannot believe how it ended. A man who once held so much power, who caused so much destruction, did not fall in a grand battle. He ended his life in a small room, underground, in silence. Today, the place where it happened looks very normal. It is just a simple area in Berlin. There are no big signs, no statues, no celebration, because some places are not meant to be remembered with pride. They are meant to remind us of something deeper. Now, as we finish this story, we can think about its meaning. Power without kindness can destroy everything. Blind loyalty can lead people into darkness. And history teaches us that actions have consequences, no matter how strong someone seems. Now, it's time to learn some useful vocabulary from today's story. Bunker means a strong underground place used for protection during war. Example: the soldiers stayed inside the bunker during the attack. Loyal means staying with someone and supporting them, even in difficult times. Example: she was loyal to her friend until the end. Escape means to get away from danger. Example: they tried to escape the city at night. Surrender means to stop fighting and accept defeat. Example: the army decided to surrender after many losses. Remains means what is left after something is destroyed or after someone dies. Example: the remains were found in the garden. Silence means a complete lack of sound. Example: the room was filled with silence. Decision means a choice that you make. Example: it was a very difficult decision. Now let's do some shadowing practice. Listen carefully and repeat after me. I will not run. I will stay here. It is finished. She stayed with him. They made their final decision. It all ended in silence. The war is over. We must learn from history. Take your time. Speak clearly. Feel the meaning of each sentence. Before we go, here are a few questions for you. What part of the story made you think the most? Do you believe people can change their decisions at the end of life? What lesson did you learn from this story? Thank you for listening and learning with us today. Keep practicing your English every day, step by step. See you in the next story.